Holland-Bukit Timah GRC led by Dr Vivian Balakrishnan will be contested by Singapore Democratic Party's A team led by Dr Vincent Wijeysingha, who lodged an objection against new PAP candidate Sim Ann, claiming she was not unemployed as stated in her nomination form. According to the SDP, Sim Ann was still serving her notice of resignation and therefore technically still a civil servant, which would disqualify her as a candidate. Their objection was overruled.
We raised an objection to the nomination of the four PAP candidates. We raised two specific points of objection. The returning officer came back and told us that the objections were overruled.
The objections that were made were that Ms. Sim Ann put down that she's unemployed. Given that she was a civil servant until very recently, we asked whether she had served out her notice period. It may be 1 month, maybe 3 months. So we assumed that if she has served out her notice period, well and good. If she hasn't served out her notice period, technically she's still a civil servant. Therefore, she's not eligible to stand for election, and she has misrepresented herself in the form under the Parliamentary Elections Act.
Speaking to the media after their nomination papers were filed, Sim Ann took the chance to clear the air.
My resignation from the civil service took effect from 4th April this year. So the objection that was raised against my nomination is utterly and completely baseless. Let me put this in a very clear way for you. My last day as a civil servant was 3rd of April. So from 4th of April this year onwards, I am not employed by the civil service or, for that matter, any other organization. I tendered my notice of resignation on the 18th of March. Essentially, the PSD will require a stipulated time for resignation, and if you fall short of that particular period, there may be a penalty to be paid. So you can leave the service at any time, but depending on how much notice you give, there may or may not be a financial penalty attached to it. So I hope I've made myself clear. And for the record, in my case, there was a financial penalty attached to it, which I have already paid up.
The Holland-Bukit Timah GRC will be contested for the first time since it was created in 2001. Dr Vivian's team includes Christopher D'Souza, Liang Eng Hua, and Sim Ann, while the Singapore Democratic Party, led by Vincent Wijeysingha, includes Michelle Lee, Tan Ji Se, and Dr Ang Yong Guan. Check out our other clips for the party's respective post-nomination speeches.